Today I am going to explain you my bank system UML diagram which I have created of my previous bank system program explained in previous videos. In this video I will show you how my UML class diagram directly maps to C# implementation and what is the representation between the relationship between how we represent the program written in VS Code in the UML format and what is need of implementing that code into UML format. We'll explore 6 classes such as menu option, account, bank, bank system, transaction, withdraw, withdraw transaction and deposit transaction, etc. Which include 3 core concepts of OOPS such as encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism, which we will discuss further in this video. Let me start by comparing my code side by side along with this UML diagram for complete understanding. So on left side is my program and on right side is the UML diagram. In UML, each class is represented as a rectangular box. As you can see, I have zoomed out in account class. The account class is represented by using a triangular box which is divided into 3 sections. The topmost section is defined as class name. The middle section is defined as for attributes or field, and the bottom section is defined for methods or operations which occur inside the class. As you can see, we have declared the field as private. The private access modifier is represented using minus. It means that it is the instant variable is only accessed within the class, and the plus sign represents that it is declared as public, means that it can be accessed from outside the class. And here we also discuss hash. Here we also discuss hash, which means that it is defines it is stated as protected, means it can be only accessed inside the class and its derived versions or in derived classes. Moving further, we can see that here we have defined the attributes which have their particular format of writing, such as first we will write the method name, as here I have defined the constructor. Here I have defined the method name as account, which is the constructor of this class, and then pass the parameters with its type, such as here the type of name parameter is string, so we pass it as string name, and this plus symbol represent that it has it is defined as public and can be accessed inside the class, and the void data type represent that these data type basically represent the data type of the class, means it will not return any value. Set name, these are the getter and setter functions which I have used, and going further I have defined the bool after semicolon, which shows that deposit class has bool data type declared and deposit class declared as public. And at last we have defined the print class like this in this program. Now the to represent the properties we have another syntax, like first we will define the name of the property, then its type, like it is in string format, and then we define the getSet method, like here we defined it as read only it has defined it as read only property. In same way we have defined it for balance, which is also the name of the property. Moving further, you can see that I have created a withdraw transaction class, and this semicolon represents that it inheritance from the transaction class. Basically, it represents the concept of inheritance. In further code, it represents the concept of encapsulation, where we have defined these instant variables as public, as sorry private, and then we use them. Then we declare the constructor to initialize values to them so that they cannot be changed internally and they remain secure in our program. But now we are using the concept of inheritance, where the base class inheritance or give all these properties to the child class, and in UML diagram we represent it using the arrow where the triangle shape points to the direction of base class. The concept of inheritance using triangular arrow where it points from the base class to the child class, like here we can see that the arrow represents from the base class to the child class. It basically means that the transaction class, sorry, the withdraw transaction class is a relationship or has a relationship with transaction class. We have also a composite relationship between classes, like in bank and bank system, you represented by a solid fill diamond, as you can see here, represent a part of relationship or ownership, means that bank owns the bank system or bank contains the account. It represents a strong ownership between both the classes. And further moving, we have also a association relationship in which we represent the simple solid line containing between connecting classes. It generally represents uses reference between solid fill diamond, as you can see here, represent a part of like bank class has own attributes and transaction class has own attributes. Here this hash symbol means that it is defined as protected, means it can be only accessed, its variables or properties can be only accessed by the child class and the classes which are derived from it. By overriding its properties, we can use it. And here we have defined the menu option class, and enumerate means it defines the objects, like in starting our code we have defined it as enumerate, means it represents the fixed constant which we can use in our program to call the menu interface. And in bank system we have used this symbol which shows that there is no defined access modifier defined in those classes. It, generally, if there is no defined access modifier, then they are declared as private. But to represent the way it is, as I have written in my program, that's why I used this symbol. In bank system class, we have not defined the SS modifier. That's why I have represented. Generally, they are they are private, but to match with my or to visualize correctly with my program, that's why I represented it like that. Like if for bank system, we represent the list of accounts and the transaction, or list is basically a collection of data which we created to store the data type of to store the accounts user accounts data inside it in structured way. Here we have created one list for account and another list for transaction which will be displayed using print transaction history method. Here in between transfer transaction, deposit transaction class, there is composite relationship where one transfer transaction class can have many deposit transaction classes. Here, one represent that there is one transfer transaction class which can have many deposit means many person can deposit and can use this transfer transaction class to perform their transaction between the money which the UML diagram serve for multiple purposes like it helps us in why now let's answer my last question. Why do we use the UML diagram? UML diagram serve as a diagram which help us in multiple purposes such as it helps us in planning and designing the structure of the code before implementation so that we can find and correct any bug or can any or validate a strong logic for our program. It basically help us to improve the efficiency by help us pre-design the program before writing it or hard coding it in our VS Code. It also help us to design relationship between the different classes and keep our program aligned throughout our development. So overall, this help us to structure and formulate our whole coding program which we have to code in a visual representation so that we can understand and program it in better way. Thank you.